Peace, peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Don't use trying to save people as an excuse to stay on one rung of the ladder. Or don't use, the aspect of trying to save people as an excuse to, go backwards in essence. But you know what I mean by staying on one rung of the ladder, like, you're constantly climbing. But then you could try to hang on to one little area, on that ladder, one little, rung on the ladder. But then your arms will get tired, you know. Eventually, probably your arms will get tired where you fall down the ladder, you know what I'm saying? So you want to keep that momentum going, and also realizing within my own realm, you know, uh, being careful about, like, everything happens for a reason. There's no, this such and such happened to me. This wasn't supposed to happen. Like, if it happened for a reason, But thinking about, going back a little bit on my growth and how much, I didn't have to make a full reset, but, I definitely had to, like, almost like go back to doing some of the, most elementary aspects of the spiritual growth, due to, kind of stepping back. So it's like you kind of gotta, kind of start from square one again, in essence, square one. But just sharing about that aspect, it's not about us trying, like, we help this realm by being the change we want to see, by changing our inner world, you know what I'm saying? It's not about like, in which it helps that, again, like, we change our inner world and then you're inspired to make videos on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it works with me taking care of my inner world first and foremost, and then, whatever actions I take, will be in alignment with my inner world, but again, don't use trying to save people as an excuse to stay, backwards, and just realizing the sneakiness of, that egoic mind, where you could be telling yourself, oh yeah, I'm helping those who just waking up, so let me talk about, you know and again, to each his own, though, too, like, as far as, like, dealing with pop culture and stuff like that. But it's a thin line of, like, which, again, there's a healthy way of dealing with these things and discussing these pop culture subjects, dealing, and having it tied with esoteric and occult, relevance and stuff like that. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, going backwards and then just and using that excuse, oh, I'm trying to help people who, who at the beginning of their growth, or this and that. And it's like, well, nah, I think of the saying that Bobby Hemmett said, if you had to wait, for people to be ready for this information, we would be waiting another 2,000 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, we have to be straightforward. And again, like, with me doing these videos, I have to trust, like, all right, I just gotta share what I share, and I have to trust that, I say trust, but in essence, had an understanding that, I share from where I'm at. And just like myself, like, I watched videos, I got what I got from the videos, and I did my own research, you know what I'm saying? I didn't expect that video to do everything for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, expecting the video to basically be my own inner guidance, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do your own research, in some way, form, or fashion. And matter of fact, you think about, like, how easy or slash boring would it be, and boring mean bored, like you're boarded up in a box, because you lacking your own inner creativity, so you could get bored. But anyway, how easy or boring it would be to get all the information from one being externally, like, if I could just sit down and watch all Universal Frequencies videos and get everything I need to know, like, or just sitting and waiting for me, then, why do you even exist, in essence? Like, don't you have an inner guidance as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it helps, and for us to, read certain books or tap into, certain insights from certain beings. But again, not letting that be the end all be all, and I've spoken on this too. That's a thin line. Some of us are highly intuitive. Well, we know that, the certain videos or books we're gravitating towards, we know, like we're keying in, and our intuition is guiding us straight to that truth within that literature, you know what I'm saying? And we know within ourselves, like, all right, as much as I want to do and should do my own research, I can feel that this insight I got from this video is something that's very truthful, but again, on a human level, on a physical aspect, I could go, look up a book and or look up some other literature that confirms that information I just came across. But you know because again, it's about our own experiences and our own inner gnosis. Research by others is not for us to depend on. And again, though, that's how paradoxical this universe is, and I done spoke on that too, though. Like, here it is, you might have a scholar talking about, oh man, I do my scholarship, this and that, like I study these books, study this, that, but then do your own research, and that's the uniqueness of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, here it is, we'll do a three-hour lecture or 4 hours speaking on, certain insight information, all to tell a person not go do your own 4 hour research, you know what I'm saying? But which that is the true inner gnosis, is you truly getting it for yourself, you know what I'm saying? But again, back to what I'm speaking on, just making sure you're not going backwards, in order to are using, trying to help people as an excuse to go backwards, like your egoic mind having tricked you into, uh, taking that step back. I want to say step back, but stepping into, again, that egoic mind, those lower vibrations, something that we're moving away from. We're growing away from that parasitic, lower vibrational behavior. You know, and the egoic mind is trying to find any excuse to, and again, and most of your excuses, especially coming from your egoic mind, is going to have some type of logical reason to make it seem like, oh, this is why it should be plausible, like, oh, well, yeah, I gotta go backwards and help these people because you know this and that, like, you create some type of logical reason to keep yourself in that type of box. But again, that's why when I do certain videos on more dense subjects, it come off as if I'm going backwards, in essence, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get the little comments of like, oh, universal, man, this and that, which, again, I gotta just do what I do, and that's why those situations, though, be stick and move missions, like I talk on a little subject, but I ain't constantly staying in that realm, because there's certain aspects, within this realm that I've grown past, and that I just, it's not even in my nature to even talk on or deal with anymore, you know what I'm saying? But, again, just making sure we're aware of that aspect. We have our own experiences, our own inner gnosis, tapping into the as above, so below, as within, so without, law of correspondence, one of the Hermetic principles, that's something that will give you a lot of aha moments, on your own, you know what I'm saying, without having to, go outwardly to discover things of your inner universe, It's like you could just sit there and be like, all right, if my stomach and my heart carries itself like this, then there's something externally within this realm that operates like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you could discover, or if I got a stomach and a heart, then on a micro level, then my cells in my body must have that same thing, because that's above, so below. Everything. The parts, or should I say the whole, is embodied even in the parts, as well. Again, how I brought up how, like, your whole body on a reflexology level is in your hand, so there's certain points in your hand that keys in on all the aspects of your body. So it's like having your whole body, in one of your parts, the whole within one of the parts. Same thing with your ears and your feet. Our face have certain areas that, your mouth connected with the Mercury energy, everything has its little, I just want to share that right quick, because again, seeing it, within my own realm, and having to have that aspect of like not using that as an excuse to go backwards and feel like, because again, we got this like, oh, let me, especially, that save the hood vibration, you know what I'm saying, which we're gonna do that in essence, but it's from, you know what I'm saying, like, again, you can only help somebody out of quicksand if you stay on higher ground and reach your hand to pull them out of that quicksand, you know. But the moment you hop in that quicksand, now you could try to hold on to a tree and kind of have your foot a little bit in it, you know what I'm saying, and try to go on a little hero mission, you know what I'm saying, to really pull. But you know what I'm saying, again, we all know, just like with that, like, like somebody saving somebody, a hero knows his or her own capacity to do things, you know what I'm saying. But, again, it's just always, the best situation is to help pull somebody out of quicksand from high ground and to not sit in that quicksand with them. Because if we both in the quicksand, now we both sinking, you know what I'm saying? So just making sure, we're not dimming our light or going backwards under the fake logical reasoning of the egoic mind of like, oh, I'm doing this to help other, we gotta heal and help ourselves to the utmost and to the fullest. And as we do that, we'll be that beacon of light and that change that, that inspires others, Because again, we get into this vibe of like trying to save the external realm first and foremost before we're saving our internal realm, which needs that, that initial attention. But I digress. That's basically it. Again, don't use it. Just keep climbing. Like, oh, well, I kind of took a step back, to try to explain this to, like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's on their own unique growth, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not for us to, dim our light or go backwards, It's like being on the same page, you know what I'm saying? Literally and figuratively, you know what I'm saying? As far as like I thought about somebody, but it was more so talking to relationships. It was like, if we're not on the same page, then our story cannot be told. Literally, like if you're not on the same page, the story is not going to be told in that sense of it. But that's basically it. As the dogs start barking and fussing. Peace. Happy now, of course. Now to vibrate. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Peace.